And my name is Taha.
Hey.
And you'll notice that our order NGK is switched up this time. There's a good reason for that. Today's topic and discussion is real estate, specifically Toronto real estate. And if you don't know, our very own Grace is a Toronto realtor, and we have Taha, her business partner as well, two platinum brokers, and I will let Grace take over and introduce Taha.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm very, very excited. As many of you know, I started this career last year. I got licensed, but prior to that, I used to work with a commercial broker, and that's where I learned a lot of the little tricks and just how to deal with clients. But the hospitality business, like, is what I thrived in the most. And obviously with COVID, it made sense to just, dive into this. So I'm very grateful for that. And I got approached by an amazing, amazing company, and I was connected. And Taha is the reason why I am successful, literally, when it comes to platinum brokerage and just everything that I know right now in real estate. Taha, the reason I respect him, his family, it's a generational thing. His dad is in real estate, and he's been in real estate for about 5 years, and he's just someone I admire for his age, the knowledge that he has, and just like looking up to him and working next to him every day, like just grinding. I just feel like we're definitely going to be doing big things. But Lee, take it away.
Sure, that's for sure.
Yeah. How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in the industry for almost 5-6 years, and been doing real estate after I graduated from university. And it's been an amazing adventure ever since. So it's a lot of learning, meeting people, going to new venues, new dinners. And it's a really nice lifestyle all around. Your day-to-day life, it's just very, very busy, but it's very enjoyable. It doesn't even feel like work.
Nice.
So great joinee to the Square Yards team,
Yeah.
which is basically working underneath me, and in a team that it's comprised of 2 more individuals. And we're in a new firm that's located on Don Mills in Eglinton, and we do pre-construction real estate. So we do brand new builds, we do townhomes, and we do brand new high-rise condos.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay. Lots going on in that space now, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Super busy. Super hectic.
That's awesome. It's good that you guys enjoy it too, right?
Yeah, I love it. And when you work with somebody that's a millennial but also understands how to navigate through every demographic and all ways, and an expert in his right, it's always just pleasant, bouncing each other, our personalities and expertise. And when we meet clients, like I say, every day, when you talk about loving what you do, this is what it is. When you find a partnership or a team where they've been doing this and they literally enjoy it. So even if you're having a bad day, you're excited to go to work because we're about to meet clients on a daily basis. It's pretty dope. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna roll into our first question.
Okay.
We've been hearing about real estate in the news for not even the months that have been the last few months, but for the last 6 years it's been booming.
Yeah.
So why is real estate good to invest in?
Yeah, I personally think, when you look at any successful, wealthy individual, they have a diversified portfolio, but majority of these wealthy individuals, their main portfolio is real estate. Any single successful person will tell you they definitely own at least 2 or 3, if not 5 pieces of real estate before stocks, before other investments when it comes to the, to financials, right? And the reason why real estate has always withheld any type of pressure, no matter the pandemic, no matter the year, no matter the country, is because there are always immigrants moving into any metropolitan city. When you look at Toronto, New York, Vancouver, why is it continuously expensive and why is it continuously growing? It's because it's a target for growth. It's a target for opportunities, right? So any investor focuses on investing in real estate because they know no matter the market, even if they don't have it, there's always going to be a demand because there's not a lot of supply, as you can see, right?
Yeah.
So as these immigrants are moving in, they'll need somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
Trudeau just passed a law that in the next 3 years you're going to see 400,000 immigrants in the GTA alone.
Yeah,
100,000 of those immigrants are coming to Toronto itself.
Yeah.
Do you see where are they gonna live?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now investors know that, right? So this is what investors are thinking about. They're not worried about Corona. They're not thinking, oh my God, I can't afford it. They're just they're looking about the opportunities.
Long-term.
This is what Trudeau just said. Okay, where can I
Game
invest in real
plan.
estate right now? Okay, which developer can I go communicate with right now
Yeah.
to see what they're planning for the city? So
Makes
that's why
sense.
there's a lot of infrastructure. In the
So
city.
I'll ask you guys this. You know, everyone's continuing to see the rise in the real estate pricing, right? Why now? Why is now a good time to invest, despite the fact that it's continuing to go up?
Yeah, so wonderful question. So kind of on a tangent to what Grace just said, Trudeau's immigration policy is very, very pro-immigration, and for that reason, they're going to be allowing a lot more people coming into the country. So 1.2 million is expected in the next 4 years, divided up into, as Grace said, 400K, 400K, 400K. And so it's a great time to get into the market now because it's gonna rise quite a lot, because when these people come in and tagged along with that, just the cost of borrowing is at a rock bottom right now. Bank of Canada just announced it's going to keep interest rates very, very low. So tied into that, it's going to cause a lot of activity, a lot of more transactions to take place. So those are like the fundamental reasons why the market's going to go up. On top of that, there's a huge supply and demand gap in the Toronto real estate market. There's a lot more buyers than there are sellers. So that's really like a key reason that why it's driving up prices, right? And then on top of that, there's Toronto is a very up and coming area. So if you were to compare it to other major metropolis cities in North America, you're going to notice that Toronto is on the rise. And certain cities such as like your New Yorks, like your Hong Kongs, your Shanghais, like these major cities, they're kind of plateaued at a point. So there's like a life cycle, there's a business cycle of every city, you know, jobs come in and people move in and then things get expensive and then the employment moves out, companies want to go and then relocate to cheaper spots basically. So there's a life cycle of every single economy and we're kind of on the come up right now. So for the next 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to be very, very it's going to be not very, but it's going to be on an upwards trend. There's going to be dips, there's going to be corrections, there's going to be dents in the market. But all in all, you know, I've basically been here for almost 15 years, and the property that my dad bought when he first came was like at a fraction of a price of what it is now. So I'm pretty sure everyone can vouch for that and everyone can kind of think about what their parents did. So it's going to be the same trend that we're going to be noticing in the future.
Sweet. So how does one get into the real estate market?
Do you want to take over that one?
Especially as a first-time home buyer. How does one get into the real estate market?
You know,
what are the steps?
Especially in times like now where it seems almost impossible.
You know, so and that has been one of the biggest questions, and I know we've had like side conversations about that as well, and you know, a lot of people are concerned, right? But the first step that I always advise people, just get pre-approved. Start the conversation and know your numbers, right? You know, we try to eradicate that fear of loss. We try to eradicate that fear of like you're not gonna make it. So, and we try to educate our clients and say, get pre-approved, know your numbers no matter what. It will help you start planning. Stop looking at the news, stop listening to your friends, stop overtaking 20 million advices from people that are not experts, right? And once you know your numbers, then you can start working towards your plan. You know, no matter what that looks like, you can always partner with somebody, and there's always you know, there's always a way out no matter what, right? So get pre-approved. Once you're pre-approved, then you know, the next step is just finding a real estate expert that could actually tell you what's going on in the market and actually start running the numbers for you, right? And then perfect. No, you answered it wonderfully, but there's basically a couple of different ways to get into real estate. One option is the resale market. So that's buying something that's already made. Okay. Now, some of the caveats with that is you're gonna have to come up with 20%. You're gonna have to make sure your financials are in order because you're gonna have to assume a mortgage when you buy the property, right? And in a market like Toronto, there's like multiple offers on a single property. So you're like competing against 10, 15 other offers. So properties are like listing for like $499, but then selling for like $650. So it's kind of like, it's not really realistic. It's not really reasonable. So another option is going through to the pre-construction market. And so there's basically a life cycle of a house, or like a property, right? So you have -4, -4 to like 0, and then 0 to 7 years. So that -4 to 0 mark is a pre-construction phase. So when a developer wants to build like a high-rise condominium with like 800 units, for instance, there's basically multiple phases before it gets constructed. So they have to obtain financing, they have to sell a certain amount of units before, you know, before the shovel breaks the ground. So basically what I'm trying to say is that -4 to 0 is that pre-construction phase. So if you can buy a condo or like a townhouse in this phase, you're setting yourself up for you're setting yourself up for success. Reason being is like that -4 to 0, that's like the premature
age of the house, and then 0 to 7 is when you have Tyrion warranty, and the property appreciates like really fast in these first 10 to 11 years, and then it starts to slow down.
Yeah.
So pre-construction, how do you get into it? So I told you that you need 20% down payment for resale. Now the case in pre-construction is you have to pay 20%, but it's staggered over the course of 2, 3, 4 years. So it gives you time to gather money to basically arrange for more funds, so you can pay it off in certain installments. So certain projects that me and Grace have been working on, they have deposit structures where they want 5% every year. We even have projects where the developer is looking for a monthly payment of like $2,500 for like 24 months. So that gives more leeway, more flexibility for the buyer to basically arrange for the funds and get into the market. Because resale could not be feasible or realistic for everyone, but pre-construction does give you that extra extended time.
And it eliminates the bidding wars and all of.
Yes.
Yeah, you really bypass that, and
Yes.
then you don't have to assume a mortgage the minute you buy it, right? You could basically have to assume a mortgage in 3, 4 years down the line. So you can, fix up your credit score if you have some late payments, and you can, make yourself look healthier before approaching a lender.
What's insane to me is that there's a pandemic going on, and there are a million bidding wars going on. People are buying houses like over asking. It's just insane to me.
And that's mainly the main reason for that is because the interest rates are at all-time low. So a lot of people are taking advantage. We've never seen interest rates this low ever, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the market is really heating up and hot, and people just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I personally think that, and like Taha was saying, we're gonna see this interest rates
It's gonna stay pretty low for the next little while.
At least like the next 3, 4 years. So actually, it's a good thing because it will give a lot of buyers like opportunities that they probably didn't have before. But because the worst thing that could happen to an economy is like people not spending, right?
Yeah.
That really like puts like that halts the whole economy.
Yeah.
Because there's like an engine that basically chugs, right? So the government has to step in and intervene and kind of give people an incentive to buy and continue making the purchase, right? Supply, demand, purchase, and then it's just like it's a continuous cycle. So they need to keep it running.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens in the next immediate short term.
Yeah, because there's also the government's also implementing the new 5%, the stress test at 5% now. So will that slow down anything, or do you feel as if it will still be consistent with how it's progressing?
Of how it's moving?
Yeah, of how it's moving.
Yeah, so the stress test they used the stress test before a couple years back when the market was too high.
Yeah.
And they used the stress test and they made it more difficult for buyers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's like a pawn. It's very pivotal.
Okay.
And the government uses it when they need to and kind of takes it back when they don't need to.
Gotcha.
So right now they made the interest rates very, very low to make buyers, to give buyers a chance to get into the economy, right? So it's kind of like that variable factor that the government kind of uses when they want.
Okay.
So right now they're using it in a pro buyer sense, and they want buyers to enter the market.
Okay.
And that's basically how that works. Yeah.
Okay. So it won't work in a negative way.
Yeah, I mean, and they can use it to like stop people getting into the market, and they can use it to like open the flow and like getting more buyers in.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
What kind of team do you need to have alongside you in real estate?
Very, very good question. Very good question. Like I was briefly saying earlier, you need to be pre-approved. How do you go by that, right? So you need a mortgage broker,
Right.
an expert, that actually works directly with the lenders, whether it's the banks or the private lenders, to know exactly what will work for you. Mortgage broker will be able to break down your numbers and actually see what it is you're able to afford and where you're financially, right? Whether it's healthy or unhealthy and where you need to do, right? Once the mortgage broker determines that, then the real estate agent comes in, right? So you need that's the second person that's important.
Platinum broker.
Platinum broker, actually. Platinum broker, that's right. That's correct. I'm a new platinum broker, so I'm trying to understand my new role.
And we're going to differentiate between the two. Okay, that's going to be,
two.
a little later into the questions.
So platinum broker, and we'll talk about that before I get too deep into a platinum broker, but you need a platinum broker or a real estate agent. These two people are very crucial because they know exactly what's happening in the market. They're the experts. They're looking at the numbers. They know what's happening. They know what's selling, what's buying. They could actually run a number and tell you this is how much you need to be approved for. So go back to your mortgage broker, or like see what your mortgage broker could do before we get to the market. And then the real estate agent comes in and starts like, shopping for homes that are based on what the mortgage broker has just approved. After that, you need an appraiser, right? An appraiser is that, is a person that actually determines what the home is worth. Right now we're seeing different numbers because of the over asking.
So how does that work with the over asking? If the house is only worth $499, but it's sold for $699.
So
like, how does
the reason being is we were talking about the supply demand factor, right? There's not a lot of supply out there, right? But it's a huge demand, right? So sellers are taking advantage. Does that mean that is the number that's right? No, but there's not a lot of demand. There's not a lot of competition, right? But there's like 20 people that want this one house, right? So it's a perfect timing for a buyer, for a seller to take advantage and say, well, it's worth this, but this person really wants it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? I have a lineup of 20 people, and this is what they're offering me, so how bad do you want it? And it's just, and sometimes you give an offer over 100. How many times do we see bully offers, right? You get somebody that comes in like over 24 hours and provides a bully offer, and boom. So you thought yours is the best, and that's just what's happening because there's a huge demand and there aren't a lot of supplies, right? And for as long as we see that, we hear a lot of people saying, oh, there might be a bubble. Is there a bubble? There's a crash. I'm like, for as long as you see demand, there'll never be a crash because people need somewhere to live and people need ownership. For as long as we continue seeing demand, we'll never really see a bubble. You know,
especially with all the people that are going to be coming into
Canada. Into Canada. There will be Toronto has just so much room for growth and to explode.
Like the financial crisis, like everyone was having multiple properties. People had like 3 houses and 2 condos, and this was like one person, right? So the underwriters that were handing out mortgages, they were just approving everybody. And that was too much. That was a problem. So there needs to be like a healthy balance. So that's what basically Grace is trying to get at.
So now you have the real estate agent, you have the appraiser who's going to determine your home's worth, and then you need a lawyer, right? Especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you've never done this before. You're a young couple, probably new in Canada, new in the real estate market. You need a lawyer, no matter how much you trust your real estate agent or you trust a mortgage broker. A lawyer is there. That's their specific job, to come and meet the two people that just did this transaction and make sure that everything is right, mainly protecting the buyer as well, making sure the buyer understands everything. So you always need a lawyer. I always suggest every time you're thinking of buying a home, make sure you have that team.
Sorry to interrupt. So would, like, say your firm, for example, do you guys have like a team of everybody, like lawyer, everybody? Okay.
We do. So there's some clients that have family members or friends that might have their own personal lawyers. You're welcome to use that. But there's that odd person, a couple odd people that don't even know where to start. Where am I going to look for it? Our firm is a full service team. So we will be able to provide that for you, and some people have that and some people don't, but for people that don't, we have a full service team. And then you were touching on the lawyer
exactly. Not all lawyers are familiar with like real estate, so you really need to make sure that, hey, does my lawyer know real estate? Does he know resale? Does he know pre-con? Like, what is he specializing in? Because there's different contracts that they have to go through. So you really need to make sure that your guy is in that niche and he knows what he's talking about.
And why would you seek a lawyer?
Why would you seek a lawyer? Because this is a contractual binding agreement that you sign, and you know how like these agreements are, and these contracts are really wordy, and they're really like there's a lot of pages and
like
stuff,
12
right?
pages sometimes.
So like they specialize in like reading it and like trying to get to the bottom of it, and they can really like sum up what you need to know, if like things are promised by the developer, if they're included in the agreement. So they're like the final like safety net. That if you miss something, they're there to catch it for you.
Sweet. Yeah. So it's very important to get a lawyer.
Absolutely, get a lawyer, because even if you know and have an idea, that you might miss something that like is so small, and it's worth it, and they're there to read it for you. They're there to read it for you and protect you as well.
Guys, it costs anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,500, but it's very crucial.
It's worth it. You're saving yourself in the long run.
Absolutely. You're just guarding yourself from all angles.
What kind of projects are you guys working on right now?
And
where are they located?
We have some exciting projects actually.
Want me to go first? You want to go first?
Yeah, today. You know what? I'm excited because this particular project is my first deal. It's called House of Assembly. This is located at Dundas and Bloor Street. The reason we're excited about this particular project is, because of the transit score. It has 100 out of 100 transit score.
Wow.
So whenever you're looking at pre-construction and development, a lot of investors are targeting those kind of projects because they know the type of tenant they want in there, or the type of rental tenant they want in there. That is their first priority. So it's in the middle of downtown. It's an area called the Sterling Junction. It's 5 minutes away from High Park. And so I'm excited about this project, and the reason my client was sold today as well was the first thing is that the 100 out of 100 transit score. Why? You're right outside Dundas West subway station. You're also right outside Lansdowne station. A 5-minute walk to Blue Ghost station. And the 8-minute walk to the UP Express that connects you to Pearson Airport to Toronto Union Station. We all know Toronto Union Station is a hub, right?
Yeah.
So you're not right in the core of downtown, but you're literally interconnected because of the subway. And the future of Smart Track, they're introducing Smart Track called Lansdowne. Well, in the Lansdowne area, and the subway will be called, or the GO station will be called the Lansdowne GO. That will be connecting you all the way to north of Barrie. Right?
Wow.
And you haven't had something like that connecting you directly to Barrie, especially a lot of people looking to travel and looking for transit, right? So that is the most exciting thing. The second thing I like about this project is House of Assembly is about to see 3 new residential towers coming up. So we're in our first tower right now. And just right around that tower, there's also 3 new commercial buildings coming up as well. These 3 commercial buildings, they're targeted, right? So you're getting a lot of industrial professionals in the future. You're also getting tech professionals in the future. And the developer will only invest in a project where that is promising, right? So Heinz Development is the one building this project, and they've had projects all over North America, in Atlanta, and the U.S. mainly. So they have projects where they've housed Amazon and Facebook employees, right? So they haven't released who they're about to bring to this particular project.
But you know it's going to be
but
big.
it's going to be big.
Based on their track record.
Even John Tory actually is thinking of getting a unit there. He wants to have a meeting there because it's a buzz. It's a huge buzz. It's the
He
only
wants to cut
project
the ribbon with the gigantic
with
scissors,
when
right?
it actually comes up, because there's a big buzz about it. So a lot of investors are really fighting for this particular project. It's the only project you'll find in the entire GTA that has 100 out of 100 transit score interconnected in the city like that.
And I know from looking myself recently, like that is incredible. I think where I was looking, it was like 40 out of 100, so that's huge.
100 out of 100, you've never heard anything like that.
The only place like that in Toronto was Union Station.
Exactly.
It literally rivals that.
Right.
Wow, that's a huge selling
And on
point.
top of that, Grace, how many more units are coming in the area? How many more projects?
Within a 5-kilometer radius, there's about 8,500 units coming up in the next 5 years.
Oh my
God. So the client that invested today, that was the biggest selling point. You're the first one to start this project.
Exactly.
So, but it's in 5 years, he's just excited. He's just like, man, I'm so excited. So,
timing is everything in real estate.
Timing
isn't it,
is
right?
everything,
Like getting in at ground level, at like level 0 is so crucial, because the builder is going to have like a different price point as like time goes by. So it's really important to get in at the early level if you're an investor. You get the biggest bang for your buck.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, we have another amazing
really
project. We're working about 10 projects right now, but we'll just...
my favorite project that I worked on recently is called Gallery on the Park. So this is also a master plan condo community, just the one that Grace sold today. So what a master plan community is, it's different from a standalone building and a standalone structure. So there's going to be multiple different like moving pieces. So Galleria on the Park, it's on Dufferin and DuPont. It's by Elad Canada, and they're going to be seeing 8 high-rise towers. They're going to be seeing a 95,000 square foot community center, which is going to be the biggest when it's ready in the GTA.
Wow.
Massive.
What's going to be within that community center?
Like literally everything that you can name up, like skating rink, like a kids play area, like basketball court, everything. They have a running track on top of the rec center. Like it's like super nice. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
And there's gonna be a 10-acre green space park like in that vicinity. So people travel like in the outskirts to see that green space. But here this is within like Toronto. It's considered midtown. So you're about 10 minutes away from downtown core.
Nice.
So it's like a city within a city. There's like so much going on: commercial space, retail, dining, shopping, everything that you can name.
DuPont and Dufferin's a good area.
It's a fantastic
it's a
area.
really up and coming area. So this is like a crown jewel investment for an investor, because they want to get in something where they know there's gonna be like new developments, like revamping and revitalization taking place. So that's what investors are looking for.
Yeah, for
Way
sure.
better than resale, because resale, you know that certain things are there, right? You know a mall's there, you know that plaza's there.
Yeah.
But with pre-con, it's like, okay, I
What's
know
the
that there's gonna be
future?
new transit, new this, new that. So that's the idea. You catch it early and then you just ride it through.
No, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you were going to differentiate between a platinum broker and a real estate agent or a realtor. Now is your time. Take it away.
Take it away.
So we're platinum brokers, and what that means is the difference between a real estate agent and a platinum broker is when it comes to platinum brokers, they have a special relationship with developers across the city. They have a different type of relationship. So that means is anytime a developer is releasing any projects, they go to this platinum brokers first. They get the VIP access, you get the platinum access, and you're able to actually invite your personal clients that you already know in the pocket before it even like touches the market, right? But there's different stages when it comes to pre-construction. The developer is very strategic. Obviously, they have a family and friends stage, right? Obviously, the developer, it only makes sense to give you a family and friends option first, right? And then after that, they come to us as platinum brokers. We have a relationship with them. We've sold a lot of projects for them. They want to come to us first because they know we have sustainable clients. After that, then the real estate agents in the market get access. You know what I mean? And at that point, any incentives are pulled out. So now it's just like they gotta fight for it. So we are in a sweet spot because we're actually able to offer a lot more incentives because no one even knows about the projects yet, right? So whenever you hear about platinum access, that's what it means. And you'll get a lot of real estate agents really trying to call us to be like, oh my God, like how can I get in that project? How can I get in that? So it's a very sweet spot. It's a very and
it's just the idea of just like being an expert in what you do, right? You're not going to go to a brain surgeon for like your foot surgery, right? So normal realtors or real estate agents, they sell like either commercial or industrial or like homes that are already made. So pre-construction is basically sold, as Grace said, in multiple different stages. The first one being family and friends, the second one being like the platinum phase of selling, and the third one is when they go public. So platinum brokers, they sell a majority of the bulk of these units because they know the market, they have the clientele, and they have their relationship built with the developer to be able to like sell these specific units. So the idea is when you're buying pre-con, you want to go to somebody who's an expert at what they do and they know the market inside out. So platinum brokers have special access, they have those special incentives that the developers provide in the beginning, right? And then when majority of the units are sold, the developer doesn't care that much, and that's when the project goes public per se, and that's when you can just walk into it. And you can walk into the sales center, get basically, then you can buy a unit, but there's not going to be as many incentives as you would get. For instance, a free assignment clause, right to lease, an extended deposit, and any extra freebies such as like a free island or like
or 2 years free maintenance.
Free maintenance or like free internet,
free locker, free
stuff
island.
like that. Exactly. So you want to be you want to go where you want to go with the platinum broker because he's gonna know all of these things. He's gonna have that platinum access to these properties, right? And like I said, developers are gonna release it at multiple stages, and they hike the price up on a weekly basis.
Oh yes.
So especially these like diamond like projects, like for instance, Grand Central Mimico in Etobicoke was like a super nice master plan community, and people were just jumping on it. I think they had. I don't know how many worksheets they had, but all in all, they had like 1,500 worksheets for the first launch, and they only allocated probably like 50 to 100 units to multiple brokerages. So it kind of just gives you an idea of like how competitive the market is. And you just need that good supporting team with you, so this like whole transaction goes as smoothly as possible.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I will wrap it up at that. I think that we've learned a ton in terms of pre-con, what to do, where to look, who to connect with when that time comes. I hope you guys learned a lot because sitting here, I know for sure I learned quite a good bit.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, Grace, for joining us in a guest seat today. And Taha, it's been amazing having you on, and thank you so much for taking time to sit down with us. I think these conversations need to continue, right? Like especially with the direction that real estate's going in. I think that everybody can learn a thing or two.
Exactly.
About,
and then this is like it's like a piggy bank, right? It's your savings account where you're not just buying a house for like for it being like a primary residence, right? Like you gotta treat this as an investment. So when a rainy day comes 4 or 5 years down the line, like you're set. You've done your part. You've done your due diligence, right? You don't want to just like spend all your money and just to wash it away on fancy stuff, right?
No,
plan for your future. Be smart about it. Exactly.
100%.
By appreciating assets, not depreciating assets.
That's right.
No more Rolexes for you.
No
please.
more Rolexes.
Don't
I gotta step
Our rich friend over here.
It's funny. As we wrap up, honestly, super thankful for you coming on because you could only imagine how much I learn on a daily basis at work. And just the how prepared we have to be for our clients, and how much trust our clients put in us. So we have no choice but to work hard for them, because they know that we're about, we give them the best opportunities at all times. And I want to be able to, give this access to a lot of friends and families that don't know that this is the type of access that I have. And we want to continue these conversations and, invite more small business owners and, other experts in the real estate industry, or just, entrepreneurs in general, to just talk about their field as well, and how we can all just grow as a community and continue taking care of each other. So shout out to you, Taha. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you so
to
much
many
for
more
having
conversations.
me.
I hope you can make time for us. He's a very busy guy, He's a very busy guy. To beg him, and so thank you for coming. Until next time, man.
So guys, if you're watching on YouTube, leave in the comment section below your experience with real estate, whether you've considered pre-con. If you have any questions for Taha or Grace, leave in the comment section below. We're happy to answer those for you. If you're not watching on YouTube, head on over to YouTube, hit the like button, follow or subscribe.
That's right.
Or all the above.
And connect with us on Instagram. It's at 3 way with NGK. The link in our bio will lead you to all of our podcast platforms. So don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And thanks again for joining.